Can music and the arts help to preserve a culture and inspire the younger generation to be proud of where they come from and who they are? An exploration into the art, music, and theater from the Penobscot Nation and how family life through their art has helped to keep the culture alive when other nations have been extinguished. Communities are strengthened by the traditions that are reshaped into their contemporary lives. For the people that practice the traditional arts, the cultural identity, family heritage, and artistic abilities provide meaning as they bring their legacy to life. The Penobscot Nation is exemplary at adaptation and combining new items and ideas with the old ways and traditions.
Tasha wa shankata, Tasha wa shankata, Tasha wa shankata. Flow like the water in a river moving free. Follow your heart to your soul's destiny. When the rapids seem big and fierce and you think that you might fall, the only way out is through, you got to heed the call. And if the current catches you and flips you upside down, dive down deep, find the peace to turn yourself around. Should an eddy grab hold of you and threaten you with jail, gotta swim out fast and sure, just like a humpback whale. Tasha was shankata, Tasha was shankata, Tasha wa shankata, Tasha wa shankata. When the waters get still and dark and you think there is no end, you can't push the river, let the quiet be your friend. Flow like the water in its endless freedom dance. Nature guides with a song called No Resistance. Flow like the water on its endless freedom dance. Nature guides with a song called No Resistance. Tasha was shankata, Tasha was shankata, Tasha was shankata, Tasha was shankata, Tasha wa shankata, Tasha wa shankata.
Through isolation and the families that stayed on the island, these are some of the cultural aspects that are responsible for keeping the Penobscot Nation's traditions alive. Here are just some of the major influences that help them survive. Since 1730, the Penobscot Nation has had political power to speak on behalf of not only themselves, but for other Wabanaki tribes, for food or about trade supplies. In 1755, for example, the Massachusetts House of Representatives had declared war on all tribes in eastern Maine, except for the Penobscot Nation. 40 years later, they would sign a land grant and still hold a political voice in the new state of Maine in 1820. The trust fund was set up by the new state to administer the funds from the sale of timber and hay from reservation land in just 11 years. In 1870, a Mohican speaking at the Indian Council held in Canada warned the Penobscot Nation to be very careful in not letting white people take possession of their lands. Maine thrived in the lumber industry, and by early 20th century, the men were employed in the industry. Tourists flocked to Maine, and Native American baskets became more intricate and are now collected around the world. The political revival of the late 50s to the present day has seen major transformations in the culture of all Native American tribes, but only a select few survived the genocide that wiped out most of the Native American population. Plentiful supply and the ease that birch bark could be transformed into canoes, lightweight boxes, and baskets to waterproof cookware made the birch tree valuable. Birchware declined when the settlers introduced copper pots, as copper lasted longer, but baskets, boxes, and canoes are still made today.
When you learn the process of making the birch bark canoe, that's very little today that's different in terms of process that was done, for thousands of years. Materials are identical. The final construction is identical. The process of doing the roots, the pitch, taking the bark off the tree, carving the cedar, everything's identical. Not only the design in the canoe itself, but the paddling techniques. If you go out down over a drop, and if you lift your paddle out of the water, you become unstable. Well, some of the old timers never took the paddle out of the water. So if you've never taken the paddle out of the water, you've always got a point of stability. I love talking to the old timers about paddling, because no matter how good I get it, there's something they know. They're always one step ahead of me.
The birch bark canoe is a symbol of heritage for all four of Maine's native Wabanaki tribes, the Penobscots, Passamaquoddies, Micmacs, and Maliseets. All at one time made distinctive boats from a plentiful birch tree. The history of these native people dates back nearly 12,000 years, long before the first canoe was crafted.
How do you like painting with clothes here? You're doing the head of the paddler.
Yeah, it's actually a little more difficult than I thought.
Good job, Mike.
our enchanting craft was designed to float upon the living forms of the Indian Island School students and staff, who became the water, launching our Aguidan into a kind of mythological realm, a realm that can perhaps help us to awaken our sky sight, help us to train our imaginations to see from the point of view of clouds and eagles and through the eyes of future generations, so that we can better understand how everything is interconnected and become long-term caretakers for the Penobscot River, its watershed and surroundings, the earth, and each other.
Porcupine quills came before the settlers' glass beads, and this distinctive art that is derived from splicing can be still seen today. The strength and status of the individual was expressed through ornamentation, tribal designs, or even the use of certain materials. While the introduction of trade items would rapidly change Native American dress, the motifs changed very slowly, if at all. Children and the elders are their greatest assets and resource. The whole community helps to teach, or to learn from them, or just to take care of them. To attest to this, they are the second largest minority population in Maine and have over 2,000 members throughout North America. The double curve is a recognized art form. This motif is thought to have begun in the Northeast. The Maine Indian double curve design is found throughout our lives. It reminds us of the cycles in life, and how we treat others and the world around us is a reflection of how we treat ourselves. For that love and respect to come back our way, we must first give it out. The double curve is a symbol of this balance, and we must strive to have a healthy and happy life.
Federal recognition has helped in a lot of areas. People aren't living in poverty. We have housing. We have federal dollars that come in to help with organizing and structuring tribal government, helping run programs, education benefits are there.
It has come a long way in a very short time, but it was never easy. We are a very resilient people, and we have survived just about anything humanly possible. Now we're also paving a way for our children, our grandchildren, so they won't have it as tough.
The tribe, especially with the elders and some of the more spiritually minded, they'll smile when you ask them about the fear of losing our culture. Some of them, they'll just smile and say, you can't lose it. It's always there. It's just a matter of you taking it and bringing it back.
Nahastan anila nijanne go shabothya nijanne go